Hi, Father Rick. Angie Harrison here. I've been privileged to meet you down in Port-au-Prince and up here in Boise several times. And I want you to know it's been a tremendous blessing for me to play a small role in Project Haiti and to be able to support your beautiful work down there. So thank you. My question for you tonight is, how are you able to maintain your sense of peace, your beautiful, joyful spirit, and your profoundly deep faith while living and working in a country where there's so much suffering?
Hello, Angie, and everyone. This is to your question, Angie, of how to stay positive, or how I manage to stay positive. But I think the first thing I have to honestly say is I don't. I fall off kilter. I get on the back of the horse again. I fall off kilter. I get my balance. The truth is, sometimes I have a murderous rage. I'm not exaggerating. When I get children with bullets in their head, or see families burned alive in their car, I with my bare hands, I would kill if I could. And I know I have to let that rage come through me. It has a seed of justice in it. As St. Thomas Aquinas would say, even revenge, the core of it is for something positive, is for something just, and to make sure it never happens again. But the fact is, I get overwhelmed like anybody else by anger, by bitterness, by sadness, by disgust, by many things. So it's not about keeping positive, it's about finding your way back to positive. And I think there are a lot of parts to it, and for sure, hands down, for me, is faith, for sure. And without very exalted visions from the scriptures, from the example of our Lord's life, from the example of holy people down through the ages, without a lot of exalted images, imaginings, visions, I would be totally the other end of the spectrum, probably a brigand or a pirate by now. Aside from the faith is good friends, your good friends. But here especially, Raphael, Neves, Augustin, Roseline, so many, we're close, and we face difficult things together, and we've been doing it for a long time, and that bond is very strengthening, and it's stabilizing. Aside from that, I think a sense of humor helps a lot, and I have it. I'm lucky I have it, but I have it. But you can minimalize terrible things with a sense of humor until you can handle them and master them or solve them, even if later you tremble and quake when you think about how close you were to death, or how close you were to something blowing totally to the skies. Later you can tremble and shake, but it's okay because you've already handled it. So a sense of humor is a really important part of it. Flexibility is really important. I see this in personality intelligence, in people who come here and notice the different kinds of ability people have to be flexible or not with their own ego, their own perception of themselves. It takes a strong person to be able to be weak. It takes a strong person to be able to be vulnerable. It takes a strong person to be able to change. And the flexibility is really important, to feel sometimes like you're nothing, and to feel sometimes like you're everything, because sometimes you are, sometimes you're nothing, and sometimes you're everything. and it's how it is. I think taking yourself out of things for a while. My dad used to say, if you can't take a vacation, then create a world you don't need to vacate. I do a lot of gardening. I do a lot of farming. I make chocolate, pretty good chocolate from scratch, from the pod of the cacao. I have bees. I make mead from their honey wine. I have a Kindle reader which is loaded with books of all kinds of studies and entertainment and mystical and spiritual reading. It's a really important part of things to be able to get out, get away, and not just keep your nose to the grind and focused, even if you can't physically get away. These are all things that come to mind when you ask how to stay positive. So I have all those things in good measure, so I haven't flipped out yet. And I've learned a lot of lessons from the deep, because when you get knocked down by hatred and your own, when you get knocked down by hatred and sadness and lust, or you name them, all the deadly ones, when you get knocked down by them, you learn a lot, and you get up again, and you're a little bit better for your wounds, and a little bit more useful to people too, because of your wounds. So that's how it is. They're really time-honored. They're time-honored things. They're nothing. It's nothing new. It's not new age. It's not. I didn't make it up. It's long traditions in many different religions, in many ways of living, point to the same things. So thank you for your question. Thank you for your questions. And let's all learn to be strong in faith, to have a sense of humor, to stick together, to get our mini vacations by disappearing into the things that we like, to accept our vulnerabilities, to be willing to be blown over, knocked over by very, very strong feelings and reactions of all kinds, and find our way up again gingerly and maybe even a little bit gracefully. So thank you very much. God bless you.